What's up, YouTube? I've actually done this voiceover like 8 times, bro. I'm so tired. But I guess this is the most authentic one I can do. But I got a very special video for y'all today. This is a story time about how I almost witnessed a drug deal gone awry. So let's just go ahead and get on into it. So the summer of 6th grade was actually pretty interesting. Um, my friend Jerry, who we'll use, it's not his real name, but we'll use for the story, he invited me, and basically he invited two of my other friends, Mike and Bob, and we were just over there chilling, playing the game, doing whatnot, and then eventually, it was actually funny. His mom actually kicked us out of the house because I guess she thought we were inside too much. So we ended up going outside, and after that, we just walked around for a bit. After a while walking around, we eventually got tired of that too. So we saw a car that was parked in a driveway, and we were like, "Oh, it looks interesting." So we walked to it, but we saw there was two people standing near it. So we eventually just backed off, and we went to the other side of the apartment building. And when we were walking past, like, we could still see them. So there were like steps, and then there was a walkway you could like go through, into like that to get to the car essentially. So we were still walking past it, and then we stopped, and then because we stopped because we heard yelling, and then we looked, and it was the two guys that were who were near the car, and one of them had like, he was like clutching his waistband or wherever you put a gun near in your pants, I guess, and he was just like clutching that, and the other dude had like two bags in his hands, and he was clutching those and just like yelling at the guy, and they were going back and forth. And my friend Mike, okay, before I'll tell you what Mike did, I have to give you some context and insight about Mike. Now, at the start of middle school, I wouldn't say I'm a social butterfly, but I mean, I had a little bit of like credentials to my name, if that makes sense. But in Mike's standards, Mike was basically the king of the school at that point. But his problem was he was just, if I'm being real, he was just a top tier rage baiter. He would piss teachers off, piss girls off, do anything like for attention, essentially, and just always did things either for his own gain or for a ruse. So, basically, explaining that in that sense, what Mike did next was so bad, and it was so, like, dumb. It could have really gotten us hurt, but the more I'm looking back on it now, it's just him being dumb. But when it happened, I was just like, dude, you're almost gonna get us killed. So Mike just starts yelling out a bunch of extremities like, "O Block forever, you haven't killed King Von, I'm the new King Von." And just for context, guys, I do not live in Chicago. Like, I'm not gonna obviously dox myself and tell you guys where I live, but I don't live in Chicago. So all these didn't really make sense, but we all looked, and the guy had turned around, and he was still clutching his thing because he was confused. So he looked around, and he looked dead at us. He's like, "Hey, who's there?" And after he said like, "Hey, who's there?" we dipped. Like, we ran for our lives. Like, Mike and Bob got left behind. Me and Jerry just ran. And Jerry like told me to don't stop running, like don't look back, like if they'll find a way to get out. And in my mind, I'm thinking, oh shit, like this is crazy, like we might die. This is like wild. Somebody's gonna get shot. So we're still running, and eventually we stop, and we look back, and Mike's at a tree, and he's just sitting there with his hands on his knees. So we think he's catching his breath. But once we walk over, we're like, "Oh, hey, are you good? Like, what's wrong? Like, what happened?" He's like dying of laughter, and we're like, "Dude, are you like hysterical? What's going on?" And he's like, "No, dude, look." And like, me and Jerry like both look to our left at the same time he says it, and Bob's just sitting there like destroyed, and just like his pants are soaking wet. Like, there's like piss dripping down his leg. He's like shivering. He's like, "Dude, call my mom, call my mom." And like Bob's just sitting there like, "Bro, please call my mom." And we're all just like laughing. So we're still like closer to the dude than like when we ran, because we had to come back a good bit. So we still like, trot off a little ways back to Jerry's house. So once we get back to his apartment, his mom takes care of Bob, and she started after this day she started calling Bob Pissy Pants, which was really funny. But after that, we were gonna call the cops originally, and we had to press Jerry, and we were like, Jerry, why'd you start yelling all that stuff? And he was like, honestly, he's like, dude, I didn't think that they were gonna actually do anything. I didn't think he had a gun on him, and we all like looked at him kind of dumb, like dumbfounded. So that was really stupid. And then the second part that was stupid is that we didn't call the cops, and the reason that is because Jerry like gave this like BS extremity, like, oh, if you call the cops, they'll just keep doing it. Like, it won't fix the problem. More people will sprout up. I'm like, dude, that's the issue. Like, no one's called the cops before, so they can't, cut it out of whatever community this is rooted in. Because obviously this is a problem. But he was like, dude, no, it's just gonna cause more problems for me. Like, I live here. It's gonna just be way worse. So we ended up settled. We didn't call the police, but it was still a crazy day. Like, stuff happened after that. Like, we heard gunshots that night. Um, we heard police sirens, just all that mess. And Bob actually ended up pissing himself again, which was really crazy. But yeah, all in all, I took a lot away from it. Honestly, I learned how to mind my business more. And that old saying that grown folks used to say to me and my little cousins, like, "Oh, stay out of grown folks' business." I understand it now, honestly. And it opened my eyes a lot, and for a lot of situations that happened in the future, I kept that in mind. But let me know down in the comments if anything sort of similar happened to you or someone you know. But I think that's honestly where I'm gonna end the video. Make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe, whatever. But see you guys in the next one.